Demographically, India is one of the youngest nations in the whole world currently, though it is the land of the oldest civilization of the world, more than 5,000 years old. With a population age of 27.3 years, we are among the handful of the South Asian countries sitting on a demographic gold mine. Nearly 65% of our population is under the age of 35 years, and nearly 50% of them are at the age of 25 years. These statistics make it appreciative for us to focus on the educational needs of our younger generation. We must recognize that the demographic dividend can only be reaped if the young population is provided required education and training to make them conscious citizens and vocationalize their skills to make them productive members of the workforce. Once Mahatma Gandhi observed, and I strongly believe, youth is the life and salt of our nation. Unquote. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I always believe youth is an age where your actions, opinions, knowledge and experiences are going to shape your ideas and reflect in shaping the nation's future. It means that you are at the forefront of the unprecedented age that India has. It means that now, more than ever, you must harness your potential and motivate yourselves to contribute to nation building. In this task, the entire socio-economic, political ecosystem has to take the responsibility of carefully nurturing, ensuring employability, and being a facilitator. Otherwise, I am afraid, instead of paying it as demographic dividend, it may cost demographic disaster. Unemployment is always a focus. And this social situation must be different, or it will explode in our system. In a stage of transition from dependency to adulthood, from carelessness to awareness, from reliance to responsibility. The role of this envisaged for you has been beautifully defined by Swami Vivekananda many years ago. And I quote a few lines. I quote, "Youth means to place your firm confidence in yourself and exercise your hopeful determination and resolution and willing good intentions in the beautiful task of self-culture. This will truly bring supreme satisfaction and fulfillment, not only to you, but also to all concerned." Unquote. At this age, I feel I have a state of mind that has temperamental predominance of courage over timidity, hope over despair, and resilience over surrender. Nobody grows old merely by a number of years. We grow old by shaping our values and ideas. I would therefore expect younger people like you to keep your minds open to new perspectives and new motivative ideas. A closed mind is as good as a damned mind. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I stated earlier, and I want to quote it, young people of India will build a strong and powerful nation, a nation that is politically mature, economically strong, a nation whose people enjoy both the high quality of life as well as justice. In this context, I would now like to elaborate what do we mean by nation, how we define nation, and what is the task of building our nation. As I recollect, the modern concept of nation-state, as it was evolved in Europe and which has been modeled by many of these states and countries in Europe, America, Latin America, Africa. The nation was defined in an extremely rigid sense. A specific territory inhabited by a group of people sharing a common language, not only having a religious bond, and also identifying a common adversary. Can we consider India as a nation from that standpoint, on the basis of which European nation-states have evolved since the treaties of Westphalia in 1648? I'm afraid we cannot. When I shut my eyes and think of India, it comes to my mind a vast conglomeration of people, about 1.3 billion, inhabiting a landmass of 3.3 million square kilometers, using in their daily lives 120 languages, more than 1600 dialects, practicing 7 religions in their everyday life, having different way of life, but yet bound by one constitution, one law, one system, one idea, and that idea is India. It is not a nation which can identify a common enemy or adversary, because for 5,000 years, over millennia, we have taught Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Whole world is my relation. Yatra Vishwabhavettego Needam. Whole world may have its nests here. And our objective has been Sarve Shukhina Bhavantu, Sarve Santu Niramayo, It encompasses all. It is totally inclusive, not exclusive. That is the concept of India, which I do feel, which has sustained us. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, in his discovery of India, while talking of India, is saying, no doubt, it is a bundle of contradictory ideas. Sometimes it appears to be a myth, to an idea, but it is very real, existing, and persuasive. There lies the immortality of India. It cannot be defined in the narrow concept of a nation state, identifying with a specific territory, with a specific group of people, with a specific religion, or with a common enemy. Therefore, this is a gigantic task. To build our nations, it's a gigantic task. As I started my observations by saying, India is a great nation, not in the narrow sense of nationhood. We always believed man is above all. We have not allowed these lessons from the chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. Many years ago, almost 600 years ago, a village poet of Bengal uttered the final words of humanity. Man is above everything. Nothing is above man. শুনহ মানুষ ভাই, সবার উপরে মানুষ সত্য, তাহার উপরে নাই. Man is above everything. Nothing is above man. This broad humanity is to be inculcated. India is not a nation in the narrow sense. It can never be defined with a narrow definition of modern concept of nation state. It is a great civilization which embraces all kinds of races, humanities, languages. In the language of Rabindranath Tagore, which he wrote even before he got the Nobel Prize, that is before 1913. Nobody knows at whose call streams of people came from all directions, mingled with each other, as the rivers mingle, and finally emerge into an integral part of the vast ocean. Indian nation has developed from this concept, which has accepted everything, which has accepted everyone, which has absorbed all, and which has not rejected anything. So we cannot say somebody or someone is our enemy. For 5,000 years, we taught the people of the whole world, Sarve Shukhina Bhavantu, Sarve Shantu Niramaya. Therefore, the task of the modern youth to build the new India in the context of today's concept. Yes, we have prepared nuclear weapons. We have exploded. Geothermic tests underground, not once but twice. Pokhran 1, Pokhran 2. But immediately after the tests in Pokhran 2, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, for the first time declared amongst the atomic powers of the world, nuclear doctrine. And the first sentence of that doctrine is, India will never use nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states. Second commitment India made, nobody asked. There was no threat. There might have been threat of sanctions, which we did not take into account in 1974, nor in 1998, when we conducted the successive tests, because we knew we want to pursue this technology, we want to acquire this knowledge. With the immediate achievement of independence, India is one of the countries which established Atomic Energy Commission under famous scientist Bhabha. Therefore, it is not accidental that India would be the sixth member of the exclusive club of nuclear power in the world. But this power is not for destruction, but for construction, not for war, but for ensuring peace. And that's why, uncalled for, undemanded of, we declared ourselves voluntarily. This is our doctrine, and which has been universally acclaimed. In this context, what I want to emphasize upon, particularly to our young minds, young friends, whenever I come in such a congregation, I do not know what my listeners get benefit from me, what they learn from me, but I get a lot of energy from the beaming eyes, from the luminous faces of the youngsters who look forward to the future with confidence and the belief that the world belongs to them, and I share their belief and encourage them. Go ahead, world belongs to you. It is awaiting for you to conquer the world, to be the master of the world. Don't carry on any baggage. This is the best way to build up your nation. But not being constrained by the narrow-mindedness of my nation, right or wrong. We have always accepted. We may make mistakes. Leaders may mistake. But it is the responsibility and job of the people to correct the leaders. Therefore, I am narrating an incident to you which speaks of the essence of Indian civilization, Indian philosophy, and our narration of nation building. The story relates to the happening of the Second World War. Before the outbreak of the Second World War in 1939, Rabindranath visited Europe. There is a beautiful statue of the Tagore to reflect his mood at that moment of time, where he was extremely anguished Deeply thinking, bending his head, the statue is erected at Lake Valentine in Sweden. That is the time when fascism and Nazism was at its worst in displaying its ugly face. World-renowned scientist Einstein had to leave his motherland almost penniless because he was a Jew. Nobel laureate author Thomas Mann, his books were burned on the streets of Berlin because he was a Jew. Tagore wrote to his many friends in Europe, expressing his anguishness, sadness, what is happening to the world. Many people replied in their own ways. One reply which assured him, and that reply was, Tagore, we understand your sensitive mind. We understand the anguishness of that sensitive mind. But please do not forget the fundamental truth of the advance of human civilization. Courses of human civilization have never been decided by sword, by the conquerors, by Tamerlane or Genghis Khan. Courses of civilization have been decided by Christ, Buddha, Prophet. Course of contemporary history will never be decided either by the brown shirts of Hitler or by the black shirts of Mussolini, but by a person who has no shirt and he lives in your country. His name is Mahatma Gandhi. And it was adequate to assure Tagore. And after a few years, I think after 2 years, he died. The message is quite clear. Our contribution, yes, we want to be economically advanced, scientifically advanced, but at the same time want to carry people with us. We believe in the development of togetherness. We believe we cannot advance ourselves if we keep a large chunk of humanity behind us to drag me behind. We believe to move ahead with togetherness, to march forward togetherness, not excluding anybody, but including everybody. We are broad enough to accommodate all views, all ideas, all concepts, because we have that capacity to absorb them, to adopt them, to assimilate them, and to synthesize a new product out of them. That is the message of Indian civilization. That is the message of the new nation making which our founding fathers, starting from Mahatma Gandhi, Rabindranath Tagore, Aurobindo, and many others, they have taught us. I would conclude my observations. Dear young friends, surely you will have, after graduating from this institution, when you enter into your real life, you will find little nervousness. It is quite natural. Because there will be no fostering care of your guides, teachers, or your guardians. You will have to be on your own. But always remember, the knowledge which you have acquired, the skill which has been instilled in you, the courage and confidence which have been injected in you, will help you to guide you and to move ahead without carrying any baggage of the past, confidently. As I said earlier, I repeat in my conclusion, the world belongs to you, and it is for you to take it, to create a new world for yourselves, for ourselves, for the humanity. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.